Call Tom and Dan now. 1-844-TOM and Dan. That's 1-844-TOM, the letter N, Dan. Leave him a message, and you just might hear yourself on the show. 1-844-TOM and DAN. Call them now. Or later.
Motown's #1 rock station, Z159 FM.
Right.
Your only home for the Hot Tub and Mini Fridge Morning Show and Dump 'em Out Fridays.
Ooh, yeah, a hot tub and mini fridge. Keep me cold and hot.
turn down our synthetic music here so you can see our guest.
All right.
Live from München.
Yeah.
Did I say that correctly?
No, yeah, it was pretty good.
Sort of. München.
Yeah, no.
Tom would say Munich.
I approve. Yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah, what an idiot. What a maroon, as Bugs Bunny would have said. All right, that's done. You look good on that.
Is the microphone set okay like this?
If you can get about an inch closer to it, like real close to it, super close, like up.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
That's perfect.
So you can pull that down if you want.
Yeah, you can move it the way you want, but like,
Does
yeah.
it go down?
Yeah,
oh, right, okay.
Yep, there. Oh, no, it goes way down.
Now I broke it.
No, you didn't. You got it.
All
You
right.
got it. You did it. Perfect. Let me check this other angle on the Zoom here, and then we'll be ready to roll. And thanks again for being here, man.
Well, thanks for having me. This was pretty fun. Like I wasn't expecting this.
Well,
Cheers.
I mean, you're supposed to be at ease as a guest, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
whole point. All right.
I would be without whiskey, but
And none of our guests usually.
I'm very happy he took advantage of that.
Yes,
because
you
nobody
and David
does.
Jolly.
Yeah,
I was joking about it first because I wanted to look as rock and roll as possible.
Yeah,
And I know we actually do have whiskey.
Yeah,
Oh,
give
shit.
this man a whiskey. All
I
right.
got to put my money where my mouth.
Mr. Van, would you like to begin?
Yeah,
Here we
sure.
go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube right now, and you can join us. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live. It's very exciting within our studios because it is Fringe Week here in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, I love having fringe guests in studio because I feel like they're all world travelers that travel around that know.
I love international weirdos.
Yeah,
I love it. Like, and I mean
That's
that with
pretty much
love.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
oh.
you guys are, and we do have a guest, and we're gonna get to him here in a second. But yeah, like it is Fringe time right now. So thousands of performers, hundreds are descending. Well, thousands of people, hundreds of performers, maybe even thousands, are descending upon Orlando, Florida. And I was told that it is the oldest North American Fringe festival. That's what we were looking for the other day.
Okay.
Remember, we were trying to figure out why is this one so specific or like and so well known. You've got Edinburgh, obviously that's the big one, but ours is the oldest in North America, and we're very proud of it. And let's celebrate some Fringe.
Yeah, from his show Live Forever, we got Paco Earhart in here. How you doing, Paco?
Good. How are you? Guten Tag.
Yeah,
if
guten.
you
Moin
want some
moin.
German.
Is that
Moin. Dude, you're good.
Moin
I love
moin.
that.
Yeah.
That is where my family lives.
That
That's
area?
all the way up in the north.
My German teacher was the one that taught me that a very casual, you're the expert here, a very casual German, like in the morning when you're coming in or doing whatever, and he'd see us all and he'd go like, moin moin.
Yeah, well, that is the north. Like most people that know Germany know the south, like Bavaria and Lederhosen. In the like 89% of Germans laugh at Lederhosen. The rest are Bavarians.
That's okay, all right.
And in the north is fishermen and stuff like that. And they're moin moin. Although to be honest, if you're proper northern German, it's normally just moin because moin is already pretty chatty.
Okay. Oh, and I'm a chatter. So okay, understood. Thank you for the tip. I'll take one off.
So, Paco, tell us about the show, and also tell us about hitchhiking out of Germany and becoming world traveler.
Yeah, I guess you decided one day I want to tell stories professionally at Fringe festivals, which is wild, and I'm just going to hitchhike out of Germany.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird mix. Now, first I hitchhiked out of Germany because I wanted to be Jack Kerouac. That was hugely influential on me. But at the time, I wanted to be a writer. I just wanted a crazy life and do lots of semi-legal things and
Experience the world.
experience the world. Experience people. Just like when you go out there, always traveling. I always say like it's like you get questions answered that you never asked. You see stuff like, oh, that's part of the world. I had no idea, and that is just totally just broadens everything.
It's been. I don't think I've ever stopped the show to that was perfectly said. You get answers to questions you were never going to ask. I love that.
Yeah, and it's just
You're a drunk, sir. No, I'm kidding.
You're not wrong, sir.
Yeah, it is crazy when and now you see it a lot more on the internet, where it's like I have opinion on how the world should be. Like, you haven't left the county you live in in 20 years.
Incidentally, the world should work like the county does. Because everywhere else they do it wrong.
So what age do you decide, okay, I'm heading out? Like, what age are we at now at when you decide?
Like, this is actually pretty late. I think it was 27. So I struggled because I come from a family. My dad was a banker. My great-grandfather was something big. So it was I felt supported, but my family had no idea what the thing was that I wanted to do. So I was kind of like the crazy one.
Were you an artist, though? Did you play music?
I wanted to be an artist, but I was still, at the time, I was still just, doing stuff in Berlin, studying, which we do, quite a little bit longer
Americans
than
don't
here.
study.
Absolutely
hate it.
But
I got a smartphone.
Yeah. We're Americans. We know everything. We don't need to study.
It tells me everything I want to know.
Well, hey, but it's free, so,
That is true.
That is
why not?
true.
We just borrow money and get mad that we have to pay it back. Like, you should give it to me for free now.
No, well, dude, I had to pay for university. Like every semester I had to pay like $60, and for that I got a bus pass for the entire city for the entire semester. University is not free,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to write it. I just want to have a crazy life and write about it. Then it turned out writing is pretty lonely. I ended up being broke and in slight trouble in Valencia, and saw an ad. This was being.
There's a community college around here called Valencia, so we're gonna have to clarify.
I wasn't. This is a city in Spain.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say that, but I just wanted, because a lot of confused dum-dums driving down I-4 right now. They're like, hey, we're stranded at community college here locally.
That's where I go.
It's a great school. Great school.
Yeah. I hear they one of the subjects is hitchhiking.
Yeah.
We're joking. Not a good.
Yeah. Go to beach camp.
We make fun of you if you go there. I'm joking.
So I became a hotel entertainer for a season, which just does basically crazy, weird shows for very uneducated British people. And I realized I really love being on stage. And then I thought, oh man, I was an exchange student when I was 17.
So you
North
learned
Carolina.
to perform in front of, was that your first gig at the hotel?
Yeah, and in front of the roughest people you can imagine, who are trained to hate Germans. So they kind of loved me because I thought, oh, German with a sense of humor.
Okay,
this is impossible.
What is this?
Exactly, and so
He's a unicorn.
So I'd lived in North Carolina for a year when I was 17, and I watched stand-up religiously at night on TV, and so then in that hotel thing, I thought, oh man, I could just combine the writing and the performing. I could do that stand-up thing that I've been thinking about for like decades now.
Yeah,
and somehow one thing came to another, and Spain, then moved to London, where it all started. So it's too long a story for a radio show.
Yeah, but is London a hard place to cut your teeth if you want to start writing and performing on stage, or is it a good place, would you say?
London was good for me because before that, like, the audiences I had in Spain were, like I said, just not very smart people, and kind of, some stuff I'm interested in that has to do with some form of knowledge.
You have a base here.
Yeah, some base. Like, I can go down below, but at some point I don't know anymore. So London is actually, you can find any kind of audience. Your comedy will find its audience, and of course it's British, so it's a little bit different. And again,
dry.
And as a German, it's both good and, like, of course, the stereotype, we don't have a sense of humor, which so a great selling point in a way. Like
the British sense of humor is so highly specific too. Do you think a German coming to England to perform stand-up and then weave his way into storytelling and fringe would be easier than an American going to London and doing the same thing?
I don't know, actually. I think you'd adapt. It's a bit. I do find there's one thing. I think in Britain, comedians like to play what it's in people's heads. I think there's more of a common common knowledge you can assume. You can hint at, like, you know what I mean, and everybody goes, yeah, I do. And here they go.
Well, it's not insulting.
I really don't.
Yeah, you don't have to beat them over the head with it. They already know.
Yeah. Well, here I think, like, because it's a free country, you can know whatever you want, and nobody expects you to know something else. So there's no consensus. So you can't expect as much as there, I think. And I think comedy here is fantastic. It challenges you in a different way. I don't want to knock it at all. That's why I'm here. I love it, love it here. But I think that is the difference. Here you have to, because people want to know stuff. Like, I think lots of people I've had people saying, like, dude, we're stupid. I didn't learn all this stuff in school. Like, I learned nothing about the world. So it's not anybody's fault if you never learn it. So you just have to put a little bit more in your setups, in the jokes, a little bit more, little more work. Seedings, a little bit more, stuff that people might not know. And
that's such a good answer. I appreciate that. Normally,
was that diplomatic enough?
No, it wasn't diplomatic at all. I think it actually showed kind of your process. I like that, because most people don't want to like pull that curtain back a little bit and say like, hey, this audience is different. So in order to make this, in order to execute this perfectly, I need to do a little more work.
Oh, yeah. And I think I've seen like TV comedians from Britain go to Australia and not even think about adapting their material. We all know how people from Birmingham are. It's like, no, we don't. Why would we?
Right.
And so, but that's always like, I lived in Italy, I lived in Spain, I lived in the UK, I lived in the USA. Like, adapting and finding out how people roll has been my thing, and I find it fascinating.
Do you have a favorite place that you lived out of the ones you mentioned? Or?
I think like my favorite city in the world, for some reason, Melbourne, Australia. Just love it. I just,
Have you tried Melbourne, Florida?
I hear
like Australia.
I hear it's the same.
Same amount of criminals. Both started as criminal areas we would like dump our criminals, I believe.
Paco.
It seems like with Valencia and Melbourne, like here in Florida, you go like, let's take a really great city and create a total dump here, and we call it the same. No offense to those places I've never been.
Not taken.
Help me figure out, and you may already know the answer. And I've been talking about this for years on the show, that I went to Germany back in 2007. And pre-internet, or pre-social media and stuff, and then we're at a bar. Me and
you go to Oktoberfest?
My newlywed wife.
Weren't you at an
We did, but we did some tours.
And there were some little boys on the.
We went to a local bar, and then they were playing "Take Me Home, Country Road" techno version, and the whole bar was going crazy. And then they found out I was American.
Yeah.
Like we were like a local bar.
You were the king of the song.
And they're like, "Have you ever been to West Virginia?" They're like, and I'm like, "It stinks." I was trying to tell them. They're like, "No, take me." And then I remember I got back to America, and I was telling all my friends, I'm like, they love "Take Me Home, Country Road."
This is before we all saw it in the NFL.
Well, they were like, "No."
And this is already like my growing up. My mom or dad had the record, like the original, without the techno, obviously. Somehow really big.
Was it the John Denver? The John
Denver, yeah.
I didn't know that.
But it's so funny because West Virginia is like cold country, right?
My
so it'd be like saying like, "Take me home to Gelsenkirchen."
Yeah,
nobody would find that
there. It's a pretty dismal and sad place, Like, it can be a sad place.
So fast forward, and there's an NFL game in Germany, and the whole stadium, they start playing "Take Me Home," and they're going crazy.
It was so loud. It was really cool. It was actually a cool
you were
moment.
There?
No, I wish I was there,
on
but
TV.
on TV you could see it, and it was just so loud. The people, and the amount of love in their eyes.
I was telling my friends, I'm like, "See, they love it.
They love it.
This is our favorite American song."
Yeah.
So why that?
Well,
song?
after David Hasselhoff, obviously.
Yeah.
No, we prefer the David Hasselhoff version of Country Roads.
Did he do it?
We listen to nothing else. No, I hope not.
Oh my god! Is he still big there, or that was just a flash in the pan?
I think it was a flash. Like it's like I got teased with that a lot, but it was mainly had this song. I've been looking for freedom, which he released just around the time that the wall came down. So that was the connection, like freedom and that.
Write that down. Write that down. Whenever they bring a wall down, you and I need to write a song.
Hell yeah.
So Paco, I want to ask you a more deep question.
Well, before that, let's just plug his venue and everything too. Get your button. First of all, you got to have a fringe button if you want to go see Paco.
Yeah.
Second of all, I believe he's at the Silver venue.
That's right.
Yes.
And
the show's called Live Forever.
Live Forever. Get your tickets right now. They're very reasonably priced at OrlandoFringe.org.
First show May 15th. Correct.
That's right. That's so that is. Let's see, on Thursday at 8:15, I believe.
There you go.
So, Paco, I feel like I'm attracted to how we evolved as humans, and then I look back at a lot of people say you should eat like how we evolved to eat and and do what because that's what our bodies want to do in our brains and stuff, and that makes sense to me. More than anything, it's just like I'm like, all right, evolution, science is like that, and another thing that I hear recently is like we should walk more because ancient humans used to walk all the time, right? And then, but we also used to just travel around a lot more, instead of like we're stay in the one place we grew up in. And you have done this, and then you move around. And I've often thought about, like, if I had unlimited money. It's funny because you don't need unlimited money, but that's that's your excuse.
A lot of our fringe buddies do exactly what he's doing, and they seem to be very normal people.
And I could see the allure to moving from place to place and just keep moving around and living different lives and reality, But then I'm like, meeting different people. Then I'm like, how long do you stay before the allure of moving hits you again? And then do you ever like, I'm tired of moving to a different place. I'm always
the sweet spot.
Yeah. So it's like,
is there a sweet spot for like knowing, okay, you're in Italy, you moved from Germany to Italy, you're very much enjoying Italy, and then one day, boom, pops into your brain, and you're like, I got to go to Spain again. Like, is that how it works? Or?
Well, I think at the time I just wanted to travel as much as possible, and then eventually traveling because of my job, because of comedy, became the thing, and then you kind of go to where the festivals are, and right now was, in the place where I felt like, okay, I want to get out of all, like, that much touring. That's why I live in New York now, because it feels like that is for comedy, that is perfect. I can still travel around, and I think it's different for everybody. Some people just want to stay in the place that they're in, but I don't know. It's, I guess for me, like, it was always a difference between where do I feel good and where's the career. But for a long time, like, this is like a traveling circus. Like, there's lots of touring performers who will then go to all the festivals that I go to. So my friends and my family are kind of at those festivals, so I see those people again.
Yeah, the fringe community is cool in that a lot of your legacy fringe performers will know each other, and that is like, I don't know, the bond that fringe performers get is almost like one that if I'd have known about fringe when I decided to perform, I may have gone that route, because I think you guys get the best family surrounding you with the least amount, I don't know, I'm not in the world, but pettiness and bitterness, like, that's an entertainment. That's just going to be there. But the fringe people seem a lot more like craft beer guys, in that you guys are all supportive of each other. Like, all my brewer friends.
When you're making your own money, there's no company above you saying, like, oh, this person's good.
It goes directly to you.
True. I mean, in other, like in Australia and Britain, it's way more of a, like, the comedy industry is very much like an Edinburgh Fringe and whatever. So but that also means, like, here, that's kind of when I'm trying to get out of fringes, because I know what I'm pretty good at what I do, but here, like, the comedy industry does not look at fringe festivals. There is their own ecosystem, so it's good and bad. I think it's very supportive, but also, how far do you go from there?
It can be stifling if that's the only thing in those areas. Well, and it goes back to your conversation about where's the sweet spot of when you want to move.
Yeah, and if what was, like, the walking more? Is
I was just about, like,
he likes to throw a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter to his question.
No, I totally agree with them. We should walk more. We should only eat what we hunt and bang our cousins and get killed by mammoths.
That's exactly what I meant.
Like, I'm wondering if our human brains want to just be in different places and continue to move, and, like,
this is his argument for not wanting to be married to his wife anymore.
No, that is very interesting. I think it was an old conflict between nomads and what was your sedentary? No, what do you call it? Like, people who stay, like,
live in a society.
Some people who just farm or whatever often didn't trust the people who moved all the time. So I think in human history there was some conflict between these, because they are two very different lifestyles, and I think nowadays we can all pick the lifestyle we want. So that's pretty cool.
100%. And do you think you maybe are born with the nomadic heritage somewhere deep in your DNA to, like, force you? Because some people, like, I make the jokes about, like, I'm enamored with guests that come in here that have traveled the world and they constantly have seen so much, and but to live that life, they're sacrificed.
Oh yeah,
you can't have everything. No.
Well,
So I like it, but I'm like, man, am I cut out to do that? Like, so
more than me, you are. More than me, you are.
Yeah. Only one way to find out, man. Like,
it's a spectrum, right? It'll be a spectrum like anything else.
I mean, but you gotta try it. Because for me, like growing up, I was born in Munich, but we moved every 3 years due to my dad's job. So I was already used to moving all the time. So it's great. I think it's allowed me to make friends with people more quickly. It showed me different regions of Germany, and going like, you think you're normal? You're nuts. Like to realize wherever you go, America, Italy, we're all not normal. We're just differently nuts. And to realize that, I think is big, and we all need that more. At the same time, I don't have any friends from kindergarten. I know people who have those deep roots and who are just really deep connections that they love. So they go, I don't really want to go anywhere because I love these people and whatever, and that is totally fair. And I think it's a little bit also how you're socialized. I'm not sure it's in your genes, maybe.
Well, I've already built myself a prison, Paco, with a family and a mortgage, so I'm not getting out now.
Just get a motorhome and get going.
Yeah, he thought about that. You were going to go down that path for a minute.
No, I know. But again, you romanticize it, but it's a difficult life. Like, there's a lot of hardship, and
totally right.
So it's not so as romantic as it sounds. Like going from place to place. Like, I'm sure it's lonely too sometimes.
Yeah, like I don't like. I just don't ever shut up, so I tend to meet people.
Yeah. Or you're performing.
That's true.
But you're right. I think everything has its trade-offs, and you just have to find vibes with your personality. So this really works for me. But also, I feel now I can New York. I would love to stay there. I do like it a lot. But I will want to travel as well. But now I have a place to come back to where the career can be and a city I love, and I can keep going to places and come back. I think for me, that's my personal sweet spot.
Do you have any place you haven't wanted to go, or like I
haven't wanted to
go?
Well,
that you were gonna go, and you're like, I don't know. Or
I think in most places, mostly politicians suck and people are pretty cool.
Yep.
Once you talk to them and get to know them, and I mean, sometimes my brother was definitely more conservative than me, not nowadays crazy conservative, but more conservative. And sometimes we talk about social issues, and he'll start with something where I go like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I'll have a view that he goes like, "Are you out of your mind?" Then we talk about what we actually mean, and suddenly say, "Oh, if that's how you put, of course, well, obviously."
Right.
And we end up really close to each other. I always find that very interesting that we're not actually that far apart. That just the way we weight things and how we start out tends to sound like it's further apart, and I think we all need that a little bit more. I think I'm just totally lost track now.
I understand what you mean. You're giving it some air.
Again, like people in politics, whatever. I think it's that's what we don't talk to each other anymore, and so there's no place I wouldn't want to go. I think often
I love that.
Often the people, the places people don't want to go. The people there, like Iran, Uzbekistan, once you go, they go like, "Oh my God, you're coming here!
So nice.
Thank you for coming here.
Thank you for coming here. Like
we wanted you guys to come here. It's our
please
government
come for dinner.
Sucks.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Every world
100%.
traveler we've always talked to, and me and Daniel say this all the time, they're like people that have hitchhiked up South America, they were all around the world. They all say the same thing: is like everybody's nice.
Yeah.
They're no one they're obviously
that is true.
Like everybody's hospitable, everybody's nice.
Well,
they want to be nice.
We've run into
Humans
this.
are nice. That's their overwhelming majority mentality.
A lot of our fringers are doing that. Like you guys come to town and you tell us these stories. There's very few negative stories.
You see the small percentage of horrible things on the internet and skews your perception of what the world is even.
Exactly. I've heard people like, I want to go to Europe, but I'm afraid I'll get robbed all the time. What are you talking about? That just doesn't happen unless you. I mean, a friend of mine's mother went to Boca in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and which is like a rough area that has some beautifully painted houses. That's why they take tourists there. So she went into those neighborhoods wearing a fur coat and a Rolex. Like, dude, you deserve to get mugged.
But even then, that's the anomaly.
Exactly.
That no one ever says.
But that is ultimately the anomalies. Obviously, make the news because if you like, you won't see the headline, Muslim man seen being nice to daughter. eats ice cream.
Not a story.
Like, that's not a story because it happens all the time. Because, these people or those people, like, normally just have lives and are nice to each other. But when something really crazy and awful happens, then it is out of the ordinary. So it's in.
Oh, make
in
sure
the
you
news,
amplify it and scare everybody.
But that too. Some make real money with that. But also, it is simply some people think, well, it's in the news, so that must be how the world is. And I think that is generally one thing, like, go out there, try. I think every person should be forced to live in another country for at least a year. Like, I think we'd have way fewer wars. I mean, if you draw North Korea in the lottery, bad luck. But
you know what? I've been watching. They just recently let some YouTubers there under the guise that they were going to run the North Korean marathon or something, right? And they let like 75 different YouTubers in there, and I've been following some of these and watching their behind the scenes. I told Andrea, I would love to go there in a freaking heartbeat. That's the craziest looking place and Andrea's like, it would feel so unsafe, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe it feels maximum safe to me because you're like locked into some weird zone.
Yeah.
Kind of.
They know exactly where I am.
But it's so different that I like experiencing things that are so outside.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're just like, whoa. I mean, even I just recently went to New York, and then you go to Times Square in New York, and then you're from, even Orlando's a small town comparatively.
Yeah, you said it blew your mind.
And then you're just like, wow. Like, and then you start thinking, you're like, the people in this city who live this reality for 50 years are talking to people on the internet that live out in the country with an entirely different reality. And they're arguing, and then it's like, okay, well, their realities are different. Of course, you live in New York, and then you live in St. Cloud, Florida. Like, your entire perspective is different. And then you're never meant to talk to each other. You know what I'm saying?
We made that.
And
if at least you talk to each other, explaining, well, this is how it works here. If you're like in good faith, exchange, like,
if you met them in person,
or
then
went there and saw the good things about it, you get like that's often like traveling to other countries, like different mentalities. At first you think that's crazy that people say like they're weird, but once you go there, you go like, oh, and their system of meaning and their core values, it totally makes sense because this and that. You start understanding how it all makes sense. And they in there again think, well, our system of meaning is the only normal one, and everybody else is crazy. And so you actually have to go there, understand how it's all connected. And everywhere, some things are stupid and wrong and should be changed, but that we all have that in all cultures.
But it's so much work, Paco. I have to leave my house. I buy
it's just easier to be ignorant and complain on the internet.
And self-righteousness feels awesome.
Oh, it feels so good. Just bathing in it.
I give 2 thoughts and prayers a day, and that's good. I'm a hero. I might as well.
Yeah.
So, but real quick before we go, Paco, kind of describe the show, Live Forever.
Oh, right. So normally, like, I'm a stand-up comedian. That's what I do. I love people making people laugh. Now, this one here, last year, I actually had to cancel my Orlando Fringe run because 2 days before my first show, my dad passed away in Germany. He had dementia for a long time, so it was better for him. But still, now I'm back and I'm kind of telling the story a little bit. So this time, it is some really irreverent stand-up with lots more swearing than now, and so that's what I love. Kind of go where it hurts. So it is really good stand, but mixed with that story of like getting to know my dad as dementia starts taking his mind away. So it's heartwarming and it's funny and and it's I try to draw my lessons out of it. Like, how do we live while we're alive? Like, how do you live your life as a big screw you to death? Like, how do you just live? And so that is what I'm trying to draw out of this. So, it may make some people cry a little bit, but in a good way. But then the next, you're gonna be, crying tears of laughter. Because that's super important to me. I'm still a stand-up. I couldn't do a show where you don't have to laugh all the time.
Do you find that you address your saddest moments, like the dad thing? Because my dad is gone. My mom and dad are gone. And I do the same thing, where if I didn't have the humor or the comedy to help me process it, I don't know, man. I think it's very important. Did you use that? Was that part of your process in like writing the show and to help you get over?
I think so. I think it's just generally in me. Like, I think that's also the comedy that interests me. Like, we want to laugh at the dark stuff
Yeah.
in life to get over it. I think that's really human to laugh at that. That is the most human thing you can do. Just laugh at silly things. Cool. Like I enjoy that too sometimes, but I think it's just my natural, my instinct. And so in this show, that instinct just fully entered into it because the subject matter just needed that.
Awesome.
That's
well,
awesome.
Paco, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank
we
you for
really
being
appreciate
here.
It's
it.
been a lot of fun.
We appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Again, the Silver Venue, OrlandoFringe.org. The show is Live Forever.
Get your button before you get your tickets.
I think it's called Paco Earhart Live Forever. So if you look for it in the program, it may start with a P.
Yeah, I believe you are correct because I think
right.
I was looking for it, and put his name in. Put Paco in, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's not that many German Pacos around.
Put in German Paco.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, you'll
German
see
Paco,
it.
You'll be all good. All right, we will be right back. Awesome. Still on Twitch and YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you.
Paco.
That was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That was great. Where's that good take?
That's Tuesday 1.
Didn't even swear once.
Yeah, I appreciate
great
that.
job.
We could have cut that.
I want to
You
do
did a
this
great
all the
job.
time.
Thank you, man.
I've
Appreciate it.
always enjoyed talk radio, but this was particularly
don't
fun, man.
even worry about the cursing either. We can always get that. And we've been doing this so long. Like, I started talk radio like 20 years ago.
yeah.
And so did Tom.
Bleep it out. I should at least.
Yeah, I mean, but it just saved me a little bit of time, so I appreciate that. But
This
thanks
is
again
awesome.
for
Like
being
when
here,
I first
man.
like a corporate time, it's like, what kind of thing? Is
Yeah,
that?
well, we started with a mediocre time, and then when we had to censor the radio show, it just made sense to call it a corporate time.
It was kind of just
'cause
a
it
joke,
was
yeah, because our
censored.
original podcast was called A Mediocre Time, and then so when iHeart came to us and wanted to purchase content from us, we just started calling it Corporate Time. It was really just an inside joke within our listeners here, because most of them are local. And then,
Right.
but recently we're gonna rebrand because it's confusing to people.
Yeah.
Outside, like,
I was kind of happy coming here. Oh, this is not nearly as corporate as I thought.
No, you know what? We should probably, Brian will, I'll make sure Brian tells more people like, hey, they're not stuffy at all.
If you just get a photo of yourselves, I mean, you have to maybe get more tattoos, and just that in corporate time, everybody knows it's
they
around.
joke. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, sunglasses.
Oh yeah, don't forget anything.
Right, didn't drink the water.
Yeah. And feel free, you can.
Yes, take your time, sit, enjoy yourself.
Oh yeah, awesome. Like
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
Oh, enjoy the couch and stay cool. It's 1,000 degrees outside. All right. That works good.
Some of my family are in Bonn. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it used to be the capital, but.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Hang on, that's a while though.
I age well.
Joshua Ritter and Adventures in Baby Hitting.
All right. I mean, ich wollte gerade sagen, schon das Wort Bonn war.
Bonn war, ich hab's gut
already
ausgesprochen.
said in a way, like.
Ja, ich hab's gut ausgesprochen.
Ja.
Nicht Bahn, ich hab Bonn gesagt.
Ja,
Ja,
genau. Wow, ich bin sehr beeindruckend.
Vielen Dank.
Ja, 7 Jahre, okay. Ich habe auch 7 Jahre in Spanien gewohnt, deshalb, also mein Spanisch ist jetzt auch.
Oh, du bist in New York gut zu Hause.
Ja,
Some real German going on out there.
Ah, Mensch. Ja, weil manchmal verliert man es halt so ein bisschen.
Oh my God, that sounds like Kanye West in our lobby. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's what I do. Come on in, man.
How you doing, man?
Daniel.
Josh.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us on.
If you don't mind, we want to put you right there. It's the better. Well, yeah, we'll put you right there.
She can go right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let me get my camera set up for her.
Hey, what's her name again?
Myra.
Myra.
She's the director of the show.
Myra. I don't think I've ever met a Myra.
You're in that mic.
That's-
German today.
That was really impressive, guys. Hi, Daniel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Hey,
you.
thank you for being here.
Appreciate you guys having
Is
us.
that thing
This is-
behaving? Okay, it is. All right.
It sounded good.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw myself.
All right. Oh, that looks good.
Doing headphones?
That's good.
So we
Yeah,
can get
if you
those.
want them,
Oh, look at that.
it does help. But if you don't want to wear them, I'm still gonna do my best to make you sound great. So it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Is there any coffee shop or anything where I could sit, or is that not the kind of area?
There is, yeah. One street over. There's everything. There's beer, there's coffee, there's food,
I
there's...
could have checked on Google Maps. But
No,
Yeah.
In this, like one street over, that's like the main, and there's a bunch of.
There's
stuff
a,
there.
right here is a stop sign. Just make a left and go straight down, and everything's there. It just opens up.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Take care, Paco.
Have fun.
Oh, thank you, man.
The
Thank
French
you.
people are always so kind.
Yeah, they're a very friendly group.
Like,
huh?
it's like you
Yeah.
guys are like real nice human beings almost, and not like the entertainment industry has sucked your soul dry and made
Not
you
yet.
a horrible, vapid, terrible person.
It is kind of all small business entertainment.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like
direct-to-consumer
you said,
type stuff.
Craft beer. It's like it's very craft comparatively.
Myra, talk
like,
for me if you don't mind. There we go.
craft
All right.
beer?
Can you get about an inch closer to that and just you can move it, angle it down just a touch. Perfect.
There we go.
That is perfect. Thank you so much. I just want to make sure.
And
I
what
can hear
venue you guys at
good.
again?
So
They
we're
are
at
at
the
the
BYOB.
Savoy,
Yeah,
right?
the Savoy. Yeah,
Savoy,
in the
okay.
Starlight Room.
That's a good room.
I haven't been there yet.
We're gonna see it today. For
All the
this.
rooms are pretty good. Like they try. I think they try their hardest, and we are we have a lot of places you can do stuff, around here because of so many little performers. And why isn't this moving? Give me 1 second.
Should I say more things in German?
There we go. No, I got it. I just
Help our audio.
okay, I got it. All right, Tom, we are good. Would you like to start this one, buddy?
Sure.
Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So to continue with some Fringe guests, because it is Fringe Week.
Fringe 2025.
And again, just go to orlandofringe.org, get the button. All the proceeds go directly to the artist. And
I like stressing that because it's
unique in the entertainment industry.
well, yeah, and as a patron, like you show up there and you buy your button, and then when you buy your ticket for whatever the price, so typically it's like $15 or something. You're not breaking the bank. All of that money goes directly to the person that you are getting to see pour their heart out on stage with some sort of tale of, personal accomplishment, or it could just be something ridiculous, but it all goes to them, which like Tom said, that's very, very weird. We've never had anything like that.
Yeah,
I was always getting paid from some company, and they're like, do more, you more.
We have Josh Ritter and Myra in. Myra's the director of Adventures in Baby Hitting, your guys' show that's going to be at the Starlight Room. And again, orlandofringe.org.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Thanks for being here, guys.
Great.
well,
This
thank you.
is really exciting.
So
really,
exciting.
really thrilled to be here. This is our first Fringe ever.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
So we went from our buddy Paco, who is like a lifelong Fringer, and then now we have some new Fringers, and that's the coolest thing about Fringe festivals to me is that there really is, you get everybody.
By the way, right before this, Myra and Paco were literally talking German for like 5 minutes straight, and I was watching. I was like, wow,
it's because Fringe,
German.
Fringe festival guests, by and large, and I'm just gonna say my stereotype. I live by stereotypes. I know you're not supposed to, but Fringe people have higher IQs. I said what I said.
I thought you were gonna say we're weird.
No, you are.
Well,
but
better
Fringe
cultured.
people have higher. No, I bet you if you just go through them all, like they have typically higher IQs than most of your other performers.
I am not going to argue with that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say,
Just
like
talking about me.
Fringe performers, Daddy Longneck and Mike Busey.
We're talking about the one that was speaking German. So tell us about the show, Adventures in Baby Hitting.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like something you're not allowed to do. Let's
Right.
dig in.
Technically, that's true. No, it's basically the basics of the show are that I have identical twins who have severe special needs. They're 13 now.
Okay.
And so, and I'm also a professional actor. So I've worked on a lot of sets, a lot of movies, commercials, TV shows, stuff like that. During the time raising the boys, I'm going through the struggles of this while working. And so the storyline is essentially, it's mostly storytelling. There's a lot of jokes, a lot of funny, but it's also a lot of weight to it. And so it's my experiences with the boys and combining that with my experiences on set and working with celebrities and stuff like that. And then, towards the end, it all really comes together in a nice way. So,
Oh, I love that.
So
I
let me
watched
ask
you. Did
this.
you do an Orange Theory commercial or any
Yeah,
one? I
yeah.
saw that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's right.
You have a memorable face too. I think I saw your Florida Lottery. I'm like,
Yeah,
I know that guy.
That's right, Florida Lottery. Look
he
at that.
freezes himself. I think he's playing that guy that you love, the guy that's trying to freeze his body.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then shoot himself up with his son's stem cells. That whack-a-thon, that guy.
Not that
You-
part.
But right, but you kind of have the hair in
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
They
yeah.
made him look like that guy. Oh, it's good. It's good.
That's so funny.
Let's talk about having a special needs child because in my experience, I hear a lot of the same story in which the person ends up appreciating their special need child so much that they were like, I'm glad they were special needs because it taught me so much about myself, and I feel like my life would have been worse without it, which sounds intuitive to people that don't have special needs kids, where like you end up with
Well, I
like,
don't
oh
know
my
if
god,
we
I
can
feel
understand,
bad.
right?
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
don't know
so
if we can even wrap our
'cause
brain
how
around
could
that.
you without that experience? But
Right.
have you felt that?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because there's obviously different levels, right?
Now it is really funny if you
course.
go, absolutely not, Tom. I have found that
That's the dumbest question
you know,
I've ever
Tom,
heard.
I found that my special needs, raising these two special needs twins, I have found that I have learned nothing from them, and it's actually quite a drag.
That's actually that's
Yeah.
actually closer to the truth.
Yeah.
No, I have learned. I mean, that's all true. All the good stuff is true.
Yeah, yeah.
The difference, though, is that when levels of severity, my kids have severe needs on a lot of different levels, and it's not enjoyable.
Yeah,
Like, it's not
right,
rewarding,
right,
and
right.
that's part of it. And this is part of. I do have an advantage in this sense because parents, parents, they don't like to say negative things about their kids, obviously. But
I love doing that.
I can.
Oh my God! I was just
It's my
wondering-
favorite joke.
I was just.
You guys make a living off of it. That's
we kind
different.
of do, yeah, and it's not real. Let's be
Right,
honest.
no.
We're effing around.
Oh, it's not real.
But that's the thing. I can be
Tell me,
pretty
tell
honest
me.
about it because my kids are probably never going to hear about it. And
Sure,
people,
I understand.
And people in my situation will get it. And this is one of the reasons I brought Myra in for directing. She's been helping me develop the show for about a year and a half now. Nice. She has some experience with that too in her family. So I have the opportunity to talk about this stuff without worrying about being judged because and people might judge me. That's fine, but I'm not worried about it affecting my kids.
Right,
so I can be
right.
honest about the experience. And yeah, in some ways it is rewarding. There's a lot to that.
It's got to be freeing too to
but
be able to
it's-
talk about it honestly.
Exactly.
Instead of having to address it with only the good things or only the things that
Yeah.
might make you look like a good dad.
Right.
I know that we have a listener that has a daughter who has a severe disability, and I've noticed that when she shares on our BDM page, which are our most coveted listeners, like our guys that there are guys that listen to every show, that it's a very realistic and no different than any child. It's just like the same way you talk about any child, which is why you get maybe a dose of what isn't going to be all roses and grapes.
Right.
Sometimes there's some negativity there because,
Yes.
all children are the same. They're all the same, disability or not.
I prefer to be offended by what you're saying because even though I have no reference, I don't even have kids. I'm just offended by your
How
reality.
dare you.
And then I'll
You
make a post on the
monster.
internet about
Yeah.
how you're talking.
Cancel this guy.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
think about that when you guys are fleshing out this thing, right? You have
Yeah.
to sit down. You're picking what you want to tell. You're picking how you want to tell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the landmines? What do you look for? Or how do you do it in a way where you're not... Because you want to be respectful, but you also
Yes.
want to be funny. And sometimes the two don't mix very well.
That's true. Yeah. And we'll see how that goes.
Well, yeah.
It is the
I'm
first
just
show.
saying.
But I like that. That's exciting, man. And
Well,
that's ballsy.
it is. It's scary. It's terrifying in a way, but it's also really exciting. And this is one of the reasons, with
And it's
with Myra.
true. That's what I like the most. It's so honest. You're talking
it's
about
totally,
your boys.
It's totally raw. And Myra's a great she's a great perspective for this because she lives up in Harlem. I live in South Florida.
Okay.
She's never even met my kids, but we've known each other for 25 years or something.
Just weird
So-
because I'm only 27.
I know, which is so bizarre.
Well done,
So
Myra.
since she was 2. So anyway, so yeah, I rely, what you're describing, I actually rely quite heavily on her to help me draw that line,
I think we try to avoid the landmines because there are so many by focusing the story on his role as a caregiver versus trying to do a story that is about the boys and not trying to represent their
Right.
life, but really represent his life and his experience as a caregiver. And that's the focus. And I think if we stay in that realm, we're really safe.
Yeah,
Or-
no, I would agree with that
Same.
because how can you like going in there and trying to write from
No.
their perspective would be
No.
like you're not in there.
No.
You know,
And I was doing a little of that, and she was like, she'd pull me back from that. She'd be
Yeah.
like, "This isn't about
Get
that."
out of there.
yeah, interesting. No, that's really honest, guys. I like that.
You know what must be insanely difficult to navigate is, I made a joke about it earlier about being offended by your reality. Like people get like that.
Yeah.
Where if you're telling the truth about your reality and your experience with your sons, and you make a joke about it, poke fun about it, which is totally normal in your reality, which is
Not even normal. I think I almost feel like it's necessary.
It's necessary.
It's hard for people to take some. I feel
Yeah,
like, and
it is.
because then they're like, I don't know, trained is the right word, but like your first reaction is to be like, oh, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Even about your own son.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what's fun. The show's provocative in a lot of those ways. But as Myra would keep me reminding me,
The
it's
name
like,
is awesome. I just want to go
Yeah.
back to that for a second. I know I made a joke about it at the beginning,
No,
but
but
I
it
mean,
is.
it's a ballsy, awesome name, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Well, it's
Yeah.
that obviously like we'll get the reference from the movie.
Sure.
If you're old enough.
If
Yeah,
you're old
yeah.
enough, she's too young. But if you're old enough, you get the reference from the movie, which is part of it because I talk about working on movies. And you'll find, I don't want to give away too much, but you'll find there's a few reasons why it's called that.
Yeah.
Cool. I love it.
And
Dishes are done, dude.
It's iconic.
He's shooting him with a shotgun. The most disturbing part is he's using a shotgun in the middle of a suburban neighborhood, and no one's calling the cops. He shot it like 10 times.
Has
And
anyone
everyone's
here
like,
been
oh,
on-
it's just my neighbor's kid shooting a shotgun off his roof.
Have you been on Nextdoor? You can't do anything without anyone posting.
Yeah.
there's a cop. Does anybody know what's going on? It's like, no, it's just a cop, man.
yeah.
I don't know what's going
You
on.
can hear a shotgun from like 10 miles away. Like the entire neighborhood, they would call the cops immediately. Anyway, sorry.
That's hilarious.
What was the process like even coming up with this concept?
Oh.
Well, I started writing like funny stories and essays about because the experiences are so bizarre. I mean, they're identical twins and they have totally different challenges. So the whole time I was the main caregiver, the experiences are just so weird. And at some point I was like, I should really tell these stories because I think they're funny. And Myra's also a writer, and so she's giving me feedback on the essays I was writing, and that kind of developed into the show. And I think the first draft could have been like 4 hours long. I mean, it's so much material.
Yeah.
And you really helped sort of hew down. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's focus on that. Trying to get a cohesive, because I was just buried in stories.
Just
I
like
had
too
no
much, yeah.
perspective,
Too
none.
much.
But I want it to be funny.
Yeah.
I want it to be funny. It has to be funny. I do some stand up. It's not really a stand up show, but if it's not funny, then you.
Yeah.
Nobody would see it.
Yeah.
But there are some weighty moments in it. you
Yeah,
know?
well, I think there probably should be, or why even try to attempt to
it
tell
would be
the story.
dishonest not to have them.
Yeah, what's the hardest, like, when you're doing this from a first-time Fringe person's perspective? Is it scary to go through, like, the lottery process or trying to get in? What's that like? What's it like trying to, like, even navigate the Fringe world? Because did you think at all, like, oh, maybe I'll do something stand-up with this? Or did you go immediately, I'm doing Fringe?
No, I started writing stand-up versions, and I sent her the videos.
Yeah. And you were doing 10-minute versions,
Right.
just testing out material. We didn't even think about, and one day just went, you know what, we should try to, I think we got it. I think we have a really good core story. And then you won the Perkoff Prize for the essay. And we thought, this is
let's
good
talk.
stuff.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Sure,
Tell us about the Perkoff Prize and winning that.
Again, she was instrumental in this. I wrote this
really
essay
am.
called Falling Down, and it was essentially, it was like a prose version of what the show is. And it was telling stories about being on set and working with the kids and dealing with all this stuff. And Myra was like my editor, my writing guru. And she's like, you should submit it to the Perkoff Prize. And of course, me being the literary type, had never heard of it. And she's like, never heard of the No, submit it. They're doing this thing. And so I submitted it, and it was a finalist. And it got published in the Missouri Review, which I also had never heard of.
Yeah.
But she was like, the Missouri Review.
It's the Missouri
Yeah,
Review.
they
So
review things in
Her
Missouri.
feedback was instrumental in that process. And so when we figured out, I think this is the show, we'll just make it more fun.
Yeah.
Because it's not a funny essay, but
But something clicked about you being an actor, the absurdity of being an actor
Right.
on set with Matthew McConaughey, and then going home and having to deal with being a primary caregiver to twins. it's such a good story, but also it contained so many layers that I think really spoke to a lot of different kinds of readers.
So it's like
and
you found your
editors.
voice in the
Yeah.
essay.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly
Yeah.
it. I found the voice
Tom,
in the essay.
and I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. He was what were you, runner-up in the jerk-off prize. Who won that one? Top five finalist.
I knew it was
for the
swore out
jerk-off.
your-
He won the jerk-off.
I was thinking, they give out prizes for writing?
He doesn't believe in any of that. He's like, trophies is for sports.
And only for number one, not for anything less.
You get a trophy for running fast, not writing fast.
So I'm curious to like twin boys, and you said they both have different, challenges, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and is it completely different, or is it just the difference that you could tell because they're
No,
dad?
I can tell you that they're both severely autistic, but that presents in different ways.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
one
yeah.
of them will have panic attacks, and the other one doesn't talk. Like stuff like that. One of them has cerebral palsy. That's affected his physical abilities. They also have other stuff, OCD and ODD, and a whole bunch of stuff. So their personalities are complete opposite, which you hear a lot with identicals.
Right.
Yeah.
But also the
My dad
presentation is
and his
completely
brother were
opposite.
identical.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were mirror image. So like my dad was the left part, his brother was the right side part, right hand, left hand.
Yeah.
Everything was switched. Yeah, it's
I've-
weird.
I've seen that
And they
before,
were
yeah.
exactly as you were describing. They are two completely different men that just look exactly alike, but they are not the same person.
So bizarre, right?
Yeah, it is. And growing up with it, like I kind of identify with a little bit of what you're saying of how you used a term that I think some people would say is hurtful, and I'm here to say no, he's right. You said weird. It is weird.
It is.
Yeah.
To have two people that look identical and they do not act like they're not even in the same realm, like not even the
Right.
same moral compass, nothing. They're just like
Opposite
they're just
personalities.
opposite
Yeah.
humans.
Well, then you're just like, oh, you were just born the way you are. There's no nurture. The nurture
We
is gotta
solved
be
the
a
debate.
bad.
We finally solved the debate.
Yeah, this makes
Just
it so
saying.
bad.
the nurture. My sons, I mean, even though they're not twins, but 14 months apart, are completely different personalities. Grew up in the same house. I'm like, it's like, and so it's just fascinating. And I'm sure with, having sons that are autistic, and just seeing how they like you said, they both present in different ways, and like you would think it'd be, I mean, somewhat similar.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it is, and then you just can tell it more than I could meeting
Yeah.
them. But it just offers so many other challenges because it would be a lot easier if they're both exactly the same. Because you can handle it exactly.
That's true. It's
but-
like I used to take them to the park when they were like 3 or 4, and then I'd be changing one's diaper and the other one just takes off. It's stuff like that. And I was like, the one just wanted to lay there and the other one wanted to take off and jump in the lake. And I'm like, no. So I'm like running with his butt hanging out and stuff hanging down. Stop.
Yeah.
It's
That's not the way it works. It's going to be different.
One of the things is the biggest thing we wanted to bring out, like you said, the absurdity. I mean, because the stories, the experiences, they're so bizarre. They're just so bizarre. And I think parents will relate to it, but it's like on steroids.
I hear you.
And then how many different shows are there going to be?
Well, we have the press preview right after this, and then we have 4 shows. So Friday, Sunday, and then next Saturday, Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we go to
Good
Fort
slots.
Myers for the Fort Myers Fringe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
So
veterans. at
how
that
many
point.
how many of these are you going to try to hit? Is this going to be like a thing?
Well,
for you,
this
think?
this was all I was able to get for this year, but we're gonna see how this goes. I think by the time we do I don't know 8, 9 performances, whatever. It's hopefully gonna have a life of its own.
Yeah.
And I'll keep bringing it places.
That's exciting too, and it's also exciting that Fringe people sometimes they'll take like a thing that they write and perform it, and then like maybe shelve it and write a new one, and then
Yeah.
bring that one back out, and like I like that. It's
Yeah.
this could be the start of something wild,
Well,
man.
this is brand new for us, this whole Fringe thing. But I got to say, the people, it's like you were saying earlier, they're amazing.
they're so
Amazing.
nice.
It's so supportive. Like the
Yeah.
artists want to support each other.
It's
Like,
not everybody's cup of tea, and what I say and what I mean by that is like you get so many crazy different shows that there will be something for everybody.
Yeah.
But then some people are like, well, that's not for me. Well, that's fine because there are 1,000 other things for you to see.
Yeah.
But you get like some of the most truly unique, true artists that I've ever met are from our fringe guests that come in here, like world traveled people, super famous people, like we met a guy that was like a clown. He was like literally the most famous clown you would ever meet, but no one would ever know. And he's just a fringe guy, but like, oh yeah, I was Ringling Brothers, and I've done that, and I've taught all these people, and now he just does fringe. I don't know.
That's so
Fringe
cool.
is I don't know. We gravitate to it because we're weirdos, and I think a lot of fringe people are weird, and I like that. I'm very proud of that.
I was just thinking I should start a fringe show just so I could be ultra competitive and unsupportive. They'd be like, how many tickets? Oh, God. What made you jealous?
Well, that's how you stand out at Fringe. You become a jerk.
But that would be your show, and it would crush. People would love it. And you could call it the One Fringe Jerk. And it would sell out. Oh, you going to see the One Fringe Jerk tonight? Oh, he does all crowd work. He goes crazy. He riffs on how much he hates the other shows. That would actually work. That would actually work.
That would also.
Josh, Myra, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for being here.
for
Appreciate
having
you
us.
guys.
Thanks for having us.
Get your button. Get your tickets to see the show. And guys, we will be right back. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
so
Oh,
much.
thank you guys. We're still on Twitch and YouTube, just to let you know. That is 3.
That is 2. And then we'll come back and do 3 with
art.
For art from Everclear. We got a heavy guest today.
Yeah, we're pushing them through today. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
man.
man.
Very
Thanks
nice
for
to meet
having
you.
us on.
Very pleasure to meet you guys.
Lead singer of Everclear.
Yeah, everybody knows
Oh,
Everclear.
you look out, man.
We've opened forever. Thanks a lot, guys. Great to meet you.
Oh, great to meet you too, man. Thanks again for coming in, and great luck with the show.
Eventually, you've been like, hey, where's my stuff?
I was looking around, and I can't go back in now. Brian Skorsky says,
Father of mine.
My father of mine. And every song. Father of mine.
Yeah, tell me where have you been? Is that
I love that
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
I love that.
oh, but the French version is Father of Mime. Right?
He's branched out.
Father of mine. Tell me where have. See you guys.
Walking out now, too.
See ya.
Hey, man.
What do you think of my father of mime dad joke? To send him out. I send him out on a dad joke. Get the hell out of here. Brian Skorsky says he's been bugging you to do a friend show. You could do a friend show easy.
No, I don't want to do that.
I don't know. I didn't ask if you wanted to do it. I said, could you do it?
No.
Yeah, you're my favorite storyteller. Look, he can't even look at me when I give him a compliment.
No. I mean,
You're my favorite storyteller, B.
I hate.
No,
being
you know
in front
what?
of
No,
people.
it's a close tie between you and Ted Nugent are my two favorite storytellers. Or 3, top 3, T.J. Miller, Ted Nugent, Tom Van. The T's. My favorite T's by Dan Dennis. T.J. Miller, 3rd. Ted Nugent, 2nd. Thomas Van, favorite. Fake Indian, Thomas Van. Who's more of a fake Indian? Ted Nugent wears a headdress, or you told everybody and your middle name is Chisholm? I say you. He just wears the headdress. He's never claimed to be a Native American, Ted Nugent.
Could I be Native American?
Yes.
What if there's a chance? The Van
I
House.
told you I figured this out. It was the Irish side of things. You were Native American. You are. There's Native American blood in you. But the name carried over from the Irish side of things. I learned that at the Chief Van
Yeah,
House.
but why didn't the DNA? Because it just goes.
It's too watered down.
Is it?
It's
yeah,
too
just
watered
I
down.
can't.
Yeah, two people have been fucking and having kids, blah, 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 and we think that it's going to be
And
pure.
how accurate is that?
It can't be.
I wouldn't even test that. I just send him the oh, what's his name? Send him the white one.
You know what? Send him a feather headdress.
Just say from Europe.
Do you have the number? You gotta have the
we're
number.
calling.
It's right there. But we don't call him for 15 minutes. So
Oh yeah, let me pee then.
take a poop. You got time.
Oh, all right.
Are we gonna do poop cam? So I have the now I can talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys. I have one more cable to buy, and then we can do outdoor cam. And then we can have like women that wanna. We can have women drive to the studio and put their titties on the outdoor cam. Turn the beat around. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it upside down. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it upside down, down, down. DeBerry Joe got 2 jobs in Charleston this weekend. I'm glad you're doing well, buddy.
Charleston now?
Yeah, he moved to Charleston. He couldn't handle the yard game anymore. He got out. He gave all of his yard clients to Daddy Longneck. I'm never cutting my beard because it's looking. Look how old I look.
I know. Yeah.
Look how fucking old I look. And now I only wear a trucker hat. I have to buy another one of these because I'm wearing this hat too much. So I'm buying another Florida. Like, this is going to be my signature Judah Freelander hat because this is becoming my look. So I need to have another one of these that I wear every day. And then I have another one that's funny. You know what it says? GA. So when I go to the cabin, I put a GA on. When I'm in Florida, with the FL on. That's the only 2 places I ever go. Florida, Georgia. That's it. And then I die.
So we do these fringe interviews, and it's a challenge for me and Daniel. I don't know how you think, but it's like, can we talk to a guest that we don't know anything about?
Who's going to email us about that man's autistic sons?
And can we have an interesting, funny conversation with a stranger with no prep and who knows where it's going, right?
We prep. Don't say no prep.
Well,
we
prep. Yeah.
But you can't prep for Fringe. You can't prep for a show that's been written that you know nothing about. What are you supposed to say?
No, yeah.
These people are nobodies for the most part.
Yeah.
Paco wasn't. Paco was honestly, like, guy's won so many fucking awards at Fringe festivals.
Yeah.
Like, he's won like 20 awards.
Yeah, it's not like they have a long Wikipedia.
But Ritter, he's new guy.
Yeah.
And Ritter and what was her name? That's how bad Myra.
So
they were great.
I sometimes during interviews, in an effort to not let like silence, like if we're all like, and then all of a sudden we have nowhere to go, that's my nightmare. You see what I'm saying? That
do you
keeps me
ever
up at
look
night.
at me and I sit in it? I go.
Yeah. Daniel can sit in it. I can't.
I sit in it. I turn my.
So we'll finish something, and then all of a sudden I'll start asking a question.
And you did it this time. I'm trying to figure out why, and I was like, he doesn't know where the fuck he's driving. You're driving. You don't know where the fuck you're driving.
Yeah. So
Melissa, pull this.
I'll just start asking a question, and then everybody's looking at me, and it's like I'm looking down on myself, and I'm like, oh my god, they're all looking at you, and I'm just talking.
And you know, and I'm up there with you. Like a devil angel. I'm up there with you, and I'm like, I know what the fuck you're doing, Tom.
Every
you don't know
word
where the
I
fuck you're
say,
driving against, right?
I don't know what I'm even asking.
And they know that. Did you see? What was the guy? What was his first name?
No.
It wasn't Ritter. I called him Ritter. It's disrespectful. Chris Ritter?
Josh
Ritter.
Yep.
I want to call him, who's the guy that died? Three's Company? John Ritter.
Oh, yeah.
So Josh, like I saw his eyes get big, and I was like, he knows you're a fool.
He knows you don't know where you're going.
He knows you're a fool. I have to kill Josh Ritter now. I have to attack him.
Yeah, and then so and then as
what
I'm saying every word, I'm like, I have no idea.
Kill him in front of Myra, and I'm like, because he knows you're a fool, and I can't have anybody demasculate my co-host. This man knows you're a fucking pussy fool now. I have to choke him out. Myra's hitting me the edge. He's speaking German,
and I'm like, I wonder what I'm even gonna ask. I have no idea. In the middle,
I wonder what you were gonna ask.
and then
you're like, what I'm trying to figure out is, and he does it real convincing. He's like, what I'm trying to really get to the bottom of.
I'm not trying to figure out anything.
What I'm really trying to get to the bottom of what fucking question I'm gonna ask you right now.
Yeah, and then it always goes poorly because the question is a nothing, but it's still like I'm barely.
Well, I default to.
I didn't crash.
Well, you should give me shit. I default to easiest fucking question 101, where I'm like, Jiminy Glick, I got. What's the hardest part of doing Fringe? what is the hardest part of doing the Fringe Festival?
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody who said that you do the Fringe Festival?
And then my another thing.
You embarrassed me in front of Myra. That's the only Myra I've ever met.
And then the other thing that is like always makes me worry is I ask a question and the person doesn't know, That happened today too. I'm not gonna say when, but I'm like, so what are the facts? And they're like, no, I don't. And I'm like, God damn it! I know that.
But that was on you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And Mo told me.
You looked at the person and you're like, I don't think they have any facts. Do you have the facts? That's exactly what you did.
Never ask a question you don't know what they're going to say the answer to.
I only do that.
Like, that's what a lawyer would say.
I would say, I'm in a room with a pool cue and a Mike Tyson, a pool cue, and a rainbow flag are in a room.
What do you want to do?
The Tooth Fairy, Mike Tyson. A pool cue, barbed wire. How dare you? They're autistic children. You did a little bit of that. What was the question you asked?
I don't know. That was the one that I was like, the twins. I was like, I don't know where I'm going.
I hope he says, I learned nothing from that.
Yeah. I don't even know what kind of stupid question was that. So I'm off my game. I was drinking on Saturday. I got shit faced.
I had a joke.
And then I drank on Sunday.
Let me throw a joke. I had a joke because I read his bio. Brian Skorsky's in there. These are Skorsky's people. He's the promo on this, right? We're doing this for our buddy Fringe Brian. He used to be Fringe Brian. Now he moved the fuck away like everybody else. We know you left us high and dry, Brian.
Yeah, stay in Florida.
Yeah, stay in Florida with us and sweat. We do miss you. But I had a joke because I looked up and it says in the bio, it says that his sons were 11. You got time.
What time is it?
2:15.
Oh, 2:15. Okay.
It says it right there on the sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Now I feel like Sam. And then he lost all his glasses. You want to talk about that? Took 35 pairs of glasses on last Monday. 35 pairs on it. So many glasses you couldn't see his fucking desk. Today, he's walking all around looking crazy. Like, lost all his glasses. Magooed. You've been magooed. Oh, so this was my joke. My joke was... he said in his bio, it said that his sons, the two twins that are autistic, were 11 weeks premature. and I checked this. And I go, I was 12 weeks. I win. I'm the captain now.
One more week.
Yeah, I was 12 weeks. That was 12 weeks premature.
But I think different.
It doesn't have a rhyme or reason to it. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to it.
There's some rhymes.
Yeah, there's some reason to my hips.
And it rhymes with fidget.
It made me laugh. What would you say if there was a little person, an M word? What would you say if there was a little person in a room with Ted Nugent? I can't do the voice anymore. I do like a good Jimmy Glick. I might have to go back and revisit him today. About once a year. Josh Jen was super premature too. I only weighed 4 pounds when I was born. I beat you. I was like 3. Yeah, I was like, you could hold me in your hand like a baby squirrel. Kind of gross. Oh, Krista gonna get us. Who's in town?
I don't know.
Let me look it up.
I hope it's Ted Nugent.
One night only. It's the Rainbow Pool Cue Tour. Is it Patrick Warburton? Holy shit. We ain't getting no Patrick Warburton. That's today. We ain't getting no Patrick Warburton. We're going to get Sammy Obeid. He's big. Or Godfrey. Are we getting Godfrey? We might be getting Godfrey.
Is that the weekend show? What's the weekend?
Godfrey.
Godfrey is probably Godfrey.
Yeah. But that would mean Akeem's in town, no? Okay, you know the new hubbub that I want to ask Akeem about?
What?
And I'm putting this out into the chat room so you guys can help me. So the comedian Zach Amico, big fat guy, mohawk, looks like a what do you call those guys? The ICP?
Yeah.
He does extreme. He does extreme stuff. He does the stapling and stuff. He's kind of in that world. I don't really know that much about him, but he's a comedian called Zach Amico, and he started this new podcast. And Godfrey and Akeem were on it, last minute guests. And Akeem is just getting hammered with people because I guess they were asking him all these questions about stuff different white shows and stuff. And Akeem's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. And they're like, how can you not know what that is? But like, he's just getting all this hate, and then he's like fighting with them. It is awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's smart to kind of, if you can do that and not get sucked into it and get your feelings hurt, you will get eyes on you by mixing it up with those people.
And you get remembered by that audience. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And
but apparently he did the appearance, and then people are like shitting on him and stuff. I just wanted to talk to him about going and doing that, you know, because he also has been doing. I'll give you the good thing he's been doing. Not that's a good thing too, but this is amazing. Apparently I think he's low key gonna get himself a co-host job with Angela Ye from Breakfast Club on her podcast. I mean, he's always on her podcast, like every episode. I'm like, that'd be a good little second mic gig for you, man.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of promotion you can get too, because I'm sure that's
people love her. People love the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And she seems like a good and it's also, I think it's a good fit for like his target demographic. I think that fits better there. You know, like he always talks about how he likes like black ladies. You know, it's like, well, target rich. Yeah, I like the Breakfast Club too.
I don't like the name.
Too generic?
Yeah.
They could have done better. You're right.
I
think they had it before they knew the show was going to be that popular, though.
Yeah.
It was kind of like they had the show, and then, like, you know, it's got a lot of good personalities on there. I mean, love him or hate him, Charlemagne the God. Some people absolutely despise him. He's a polarizing, opinionated cat.
It'd be weird nicknaming yourself the God, right?
Yeah,
it's very radio.
Well, it's very rap too.
Yeah.
It's very much like not what 5'2" white guys do when they get into talk radio. You know, like I'm not gonna name like you know.
Yeah.
I also though didn't want to name myself a little guy name. Not because I have like any problem with it, but I just always, for some reason, I always thought my dad would like shake his head and look at me like, you let him call you tidbit. You know, like, you motherfucker. Like, you know, son of mine's going to be called tidbit.
They printed DJ Fidget shirts.
I do think that, though. There was a part of me that's like, it didn't bother me. Like, you can call me that all day long, right?
Yeah, you don't want your name.
I don't want my name. You can call me a fidget. You can call whatever you want to call me. Tidbit, whatever you want to call me. But I'm not going to make it like, hey, get Tidbit in here. Where's my turkey sandwich with hot sauce, you piece of shit? Like, I just, nope. Not doing that. Billy says you might have to call a couple times.
Okay.
Because he's doing a bunch of.
How much time do we even have for this segment? Maybe 20. I think we did 20 before lunch for 4.
It's for Wednesday? Or no, it's for Tuesday. It's 17.
17. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I'd say we can't do that. So shoot for 12.
Yeah.
Because we're only allowed 15, and then we can do the talk out part. Well, I'd love to see Akeem. I haven't seen him in a minute. Looks like Guy Tori's in town at the end of the month. That would be fun. We love Guy Tori. Lavelle Dante I know of, but he's a newer up-and-coming. Tony Rock's coming back to town. Caroline Mullavac? She looks so familiar. Bill, who were the Soap Girls? They're coming to Conduit? Is that a metal band of some sort? I mean, I know you don't do a lot of these, T, because you just don't care. But how much money did Jet Black like Ohio State's head coach my beard tonight? if I Ohio State it.
Jet Black?
Jet Black. Like that guy. The guy that everybody knows that guy from Ohio State. I hate him. My wife really hates him. I hate his beard so much. Because he has no chin. That's why he dyes it. Because he has no chin.
Yeah. Well, also, you know, it is, even though it's cheesy,
you have to do it.
You do look young. You know, like it does make you look younger. So when you see an older gentleman with dyed hair, you're like, oh, they do look younger. But then you're like, you did take a lot of time to dye your hair.
It's the initial reaction. You give him a pass. You're like, hey. And then you're like, look at you. You give it a beat. You give it a beat.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want.
With me, you go, whoa. This is what I've been getting a lot lately. Because this one, it's getting into that Jack Black territory.
Yeah.
Which is dangerous, too, because you can't even see. And I'm skinnier than I've ever been under here, man. Like, I'm literally I'm dialed in, but you can't see it because I get the big
hobos beard. Are skinny.
That's true. It's a crack.
Yeah.
It's a crack.
All right, how's it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You can give him a buzz. It's Alexicus, right?
Art.
Alexicus. I always say it wrong.
Hold on.
Oh, my paper's gone.
Okay, this is Billy's number under here.
It's right here.
It's on the top?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
My paper's gone. That might be mine, so just hand me that
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're done. But you might have to call him a couple times. Thanks, sir.
Hello, Art? Is this Art? Okay, no problem. Hello, Art? Okay, yeah, no problem. This is Tom from Tom and Dan, and we're just calling you for the interview real quick. This is for Tom and Dan. It's in Orlando for Rockville.
Yeah, we're the 215.
Yes. Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna put you on hold, then we'll get right to it. All right. It's live on the internet, but it's recorded to air tonight on the radio and podcast. But it goes out live to YouTube and Twitch right now as we record. Cool. All right. Hold on 1 second.
On one?
Yes.
Art, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So Rockville Welcome to Rockville is this weekend in Daytona.
And did you know, I didn't know that when Rockville was becoming like a thing, that this is like literally like the largest, to me, it is like the largest rock and roll event that I think we even have in the Central Florida area. And we are very, very lucky that our buddy Bill set up the opportunity for us to talk to. I mean, this is a person that, like, unlike an astronaut, plenty of people have landed on the moon. Not many people have songs that everybody knows the words to and can sing every single word.
Art Alexicus from Everclear's on the line. How you doing, Art?
I'm doing okay. It's pronounced Alexakis. Thank you.
Alexakis.
Thank you for that nice intro. That's pretty cool.
Well,
sorry,
Art. If you can't stick the landing, then what does the intro even mean?
I knew I blew it, Art.
Yeah.
I looked at it. I knew. Oh, God.
You know, if you're a 4'10" girl, you would have stuck the landing.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, man, thanks so much for the time. Hey, you have played so many shows, and you continue to still do it. What is the driving force, and where did you get the energy to still go out and do it at the highest level? I mean, we're celebrating the Sparkle and Fade 30th anniversary. I mean, yeah, how do you get back out there and do it? Do you still love it as much as you always have?
Well, that's a lot of questions. Let's start with that one first.
Sure.
I love playing as much, or if not more, than I ever have. I'm so grateful that I'm 63 years old. I've got multiple sclerosis, and I get to go out and play rock and roll every night for a living. And more people are coming out, younger people that weren't even born when those songs were on the radio, man. And, yeah, so I'm super grateful for that. The travel is hard. The travel is harder than it used to be, than in my 30s and 40s, you know.
Oh yeah.
But what inspires me? It's what I do. It's what we do as a band. This is what we've done as our whole adult lives. So that's what we do. And when people want to give you money to come do what you love to do, that's a no-brainer. If you can physically do it, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm also, like I said, I got MS, and there's no pension or for old musicians. There's no old music home where I'm going to go and live. Yeah. So I got to work. We all got to work, but we love doing what we do. And to be honest with you, doing all the travel, which is hard for me physically, is good for me. Adversity is good. The people who get chronic diseases, like I have, all sorts of chronic diseases, and we talk about it in groups all the time. The ones that stop moving are the ones that die quick and get to a place where they can't move anymore. So it's basically, you got to keep moving, man.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I just had my hip replaced, and like I'm 48, and I have learned to not take for granted any moving, because that month that I spent just not moving at all, I can completely identify with what you're saying. It's like I can see the challenges of looking at MS. I have some people in my family that have MS, and it's like you can either look at that as some sort of a death sentence, or you can continue to just keep doing what you do and do what you love, and that truly will keep you alive. Yeah, I that's a wonderful answer, man.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because you have a lot of points to it in the question. So
yeah. Well, we got excited, and just being honest with you, we did not want to get your last.
I was being honest.
Yeah, we didn't want to get your last. Yeah, we didn't want to get your last name wrong, and
and we did it.
It bummed us out. We're still on it. I'm still bummed out. Yeah, I'm still bummed out about it.
You guys do realize you're the only people ever in my life that have gone.
I know.
I couldn't even get it out. Let's crack it up. I couldn't even get it out of my mouth.
That's hilarious.
My dad, get in line with about 1 million other people. But as long as they keep buying tickets and keep singing my words with me, I mean, that's the ultimate honor, right? Because I go out there every night, and if there's 1,000 people or 5,000, or these shows are going to be huge.
Yeah, they're
huge. There's going to be a lot of people singing Santa Monica and Father of Mine with me, and that's always. It never goes unappreciated, ever.
So,
ever.
Art, let's talk about Father of Mine. Obviously, I mean, just such a gigantic song. And I've always wanted to ask you this, and other artists that have gone through let's say a horrible experience or a rough childhood like you did, and then had inspiration for a hit song that you turned it into art that the whole world enjoyed. But so do you think to yourself, all right, well, if this never happened, this song wouldn't exist, so therefore I should appreciate this happening because it led to the song? Or do you tell yourself, I would have came up with a different popular song if I didn't need to go through this? Right, so, like, how do you look at it?
See, you guys, in that question, and it's not a bad question, but you're assuming that if I had had an idyllic childhood growing up, that I would be still an angry guy writing lyrics, playing in a punk/rock and roll band. That's probably not the case.
Yeah.
Who knows what I would have been if I'd have grown up with a family, that looked like it was off a TV show. Who knows? Because most kids, all they want to do is just be loved and accepted and cared for, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And taught. And one of the things, are either or both of you guys dads?
Yeah, we both are. Yeah.
Okay. So, part of your job is all of that. To be a caretaker, to be a provider, and to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And above it all, unconditionally love. And that's hard to do when you have teenagers. I don't know if you guys have teenagers.
Not yet. Not yet, but
almost.
I hear tell. Yes.
Yeah, but Art, what if I left now? Maybe they'd become rock stars. You see what I'm saying? No. Maybe that drama would drive them to do something extraordinary. I'm joking.
Yeah, but then they would burn you in effigy.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I don't resent my dad. My dad was damaged goods as well. He got shipped away when he was younger, and he had a hard life. A lot of people can there's not that many people who can break the cycle, right?
Yeah.
And I come from a long line of men who, for one reason or another, didn't raise their children. And I broke that cycle. Some cycles I didn't break, and I've learned from that. But that cycle I broke, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without sobriety, without support from my sober fellowship,
Sure.
and just my higher power, who I affectionately call God.
Yeah, and that's is that fairly recent? Like I know that after reading some a little bit, like I thought you were an atheist, but when did you find Christianity?
Oh, dude, I've always been a Christian.
Oh, right.
No, the song you're referring to is a song called "Why I Don't Believe in God," and that was a song written about me when I was 8 years old, and my mom had a nervous breakdown because my brother was in and out of jail and juvenile hall.
Yeah.
And my sisters were pregnant. We're living in a housing project. Drug deals going on, people getting shot next door. My mom put herself into Central General Hospital downtown LA, and really all she needed was a rest.
Right.
She needed to get away from us. And she came back 2 weeks later and just refused to take our crap anymore, and everything was fine. But for a little boy, for an 8-year-old boy, that's a hard time. So looking back on that, that's why I named it that. Because I never didn't believe in God. I just didn't believe in all the BS that came with and hypocritical stuff that came with religion.
Yeah,
and
I can understand that. Sure.
I still don't. I consider myself a Christian, but I don't believe in what most Christians in this country believe, except for the fact that I believe in God. I believe in a higher power.
Sure.
And I believe that to be Christ-like, to live like Christ, is a good thing to be.
Yeah, it's selfless for sure. Yeah.
Art.
So that's where I've never been an atheist.
Oh, well, we cleared that up. I'm glad
I was pissed off at God. That's what it was. I was angry at God.
Yeah, I kind of got like that when my mom and dad passed away. I got a little...
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I understand.
It's not that you didn't believe in it, that there was a higher power that tied us all together. It's just you were angry.
Yeah.
And you were hurt and grieving. And when I got sober, I finally surrendered to the fact that I was helpless to alcohol. I was powerless to it, and drugs, and just about anything that you can get addicted to. You name it, man.
Yeah.
It's like Marlon Brando in that movie, in a movie back in the 50s. They're like, "What are you rebelling against?" He goes, "What do you got?"
Yeah. Give me
I'll do
all
anything.
Yeah, I'll do all of them. Yeah.
So, Art,
what are you addicted to? What do you got?
Yeah.
So speaking of that, I'm going to ask you, it's probably a dumb question, but I asked Yakov Smirnoff the same question because...
the Russian... Yeah, we love Yakov. He's a fan of the show.
So in Everclear as a band, did the actual alcohol brand Everclear ever contact you guys and want you to do any work promoting?
Nope. This is a true story. I have no documentation, but I swear to God. So when we were an indie band and starting to make noise nationally, I get a call at home from this woman. Goes, "Would you hold for Mr. Welsh at the and names the name of the distillery? And is this the gentleman that has the rock and roll band by the name Everclear?" I go, "Yes." And he goes, "Will you hold for Mr. blah, blah, blah?" And this southern gentleman gets on and goes, "Good morning, sir. I just want to talk to you about you using the name of our business, our product." And I'm like, "Well, sir," he goes, and I swear to God, he goes, "I just want to just make sure that you're not one of those bands that worship Satan." Swear to God. And I'm like, who is this, man?
Sounds like a prank phone call.
This is a prank. And I'm like, "So where are you based, sir?" And he's like, we're based in St. Louis, Missouri, and our distilleries are blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this guy ain't messing around. I go, no, sir, absolutely not. I consider myself a Christian. My mom is from North Carolina, grew up, and I named the band Everclear because I even though I've been clean and sober for many, many years, because I am a recovering alcoholic, I was, there's nothing more intense or deceptive looking because it's, it looks like water, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's pure spirit. And he's like, okay, well then we're not going to have a problem with it. Just don't. We'll give you a release to do whatever you want.
You start wandering into Satan, you're out of here.
Weird.
Yeah, if we get one whiff of Satan, you're done.
No, I've been through 4 divorces, man. I've touched Satan's.
That's hilarious.
Come on, that tail. You don't want to touch that shiny red tail. Come on.
I'm touching it right now.
I gotta touch it. Art, thank you so much for the time. Sorry again about getting your last name wrong. Go see him at Rockville. Go see Everclear. I know I know I have some friends that are coming to see you with Local H and I'm blanking on who else.
Sponge.
Yes,
Sponge.
and Sponge on the bill. That's going to be killer.
Yeah, well,
man.
no, that's in the fall. That's our 30th anniversary tour because it's the 30th anniversary this year. Actually, on the 23rd of this month, Sparkle on Page was released 30 years ago.
Wow.
So I'm in the middle of doing a remaster right now, and man, it's sounding so good. It's so much bigger and deeper than it sounded before, and just heavier, and just stoked. But that's the 30th anniversary tour, so people can go to everclearmusic.com and look for tour dates.
There you go.
Well, Art, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and we'll see you at Rockville, okay?
All right, boys.
Take care, man.
See you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
I'm so mad at myself that I didn't look at an interview.
No, I'm mad at me. I did that as a joke too. I'm like, all right, you do it, and then I would have said the same way you said it though. Alexakis is what I was going to say.
It's Alexakis. Right?
Alexakis.
And all I needed to do was look up an interview and have the interviewer say his name.
Incorrect.
And then I would have. No.
I looked up an interview from Australia, and they said Alexakis.
Okay, all right, so
I thought I had it nailed.
Well, I know he made the joke. He's like, oh, they always get it wrong. But I'm like, yeah,
no,
but we could be more pro than this.
And we started the interview that way. And between that and the phone line, I was ready to go full Nugent. Is that they come in threes? They come in threes, right? TJ Miller, Ted Nugent. Alexakis.
Anyway, that's funny that nowadays people send a cease and desist, lawyers get involved. It's like the owner of the distillery calls.
Back in the day, they would have done
you're
that.
the young man that has a band named Everclear. I want to know if you worship the devil or not.
Arthur Alexakis, please. I got a cease and desist one time.
Yeah, but just call the person up and see what he's about, and then you just work it out like that. And that's a better way.
Never work it out. First you start with passive aggressive barbs from either side, and then you meet in court.
But also you're allowed to name a band a product name, right? You just can't do a product like they couldn't.
Everclear. I don't know how he would have been able to lock down Everclear. I always thought that was a generic term.
If you're allowed to use the name, I thought. This is a question for Mo. We'll ask him when he comes in.
Like you couldn't call your band Miller Beer. I don't think you could do that.
You couldn't call it Miller Beer, but you can call it Miller, and you call it High Life. You can call your band High Life.
You could call it High Life.
You know what I'm saying?
You couldn't call it Miller High Life.
I think you probably that you couldn't combine them, but you could use the name as long as it's not another alcohol product. It's similar. I think it's as long as it's totally different. I think then the name opens up again.
Is Charlie Daniels still alive? Can we get him on the show?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. I'm sitting there. Sorry, I was just making a list of people I want to get on the show now that are crazy.
What about R. Kelly's in jail? We can call him from jail.
I got my baby. Baby calling. Did you hear Tom and Dan? They talked to R. Kelly today. My God. We're like, be on the phone.
All right. We will see you in a minute.
Fucking A. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
No. It's my fault.
No, it's my fault.
No, all it needed to do was look up the fucking pronunciation.
No, I did. I'll show you the
No,
one I
no,
listen
but I
to.
just do it myself. That's what I'm saying. I don't trust you.
That's hilarious. All right, guys, is that it?
Yeah, that's it for today.
We got to do an intro. All right.
Also, it didn't help that we had multiple interviews back to back, and then we didn't get enough time to dedicate on one to get all the details. Anyway, no one cares, right?
I don't know anymore.
It's just personally,
Yeah.
I'm like, that could have been.
Well, I couldn't understand half the shit he was saying.
Well, the phone.
Like, and then we just telling the story. He's like,
And this is a true story. And oh man,
What's that like old film reel?
I don't know either of you guys have kids, do you?
like, what the fuck is happening?
Art Galifianakis.
Ladies and gentlemen, to talk to us about rainbow flags and pool cues, it's Arthur Galifianakis.